This video is going to be about why you shouldn't throw out bananas, because I know there are some health professionals advising against bananas. Nothing against them, but so basically the reason not to throw them out is because of autoimmunity. That happens when there's too much CD86, and that causes excessive T cells, and then the T cells start to attack tissues like the thyroid. It's also in arthritis, and so basically bananas can actually reduce the CD80 and CD86 expression on antigen presenting cells, which is APCs for short. APCs, they actually help activate T cells, but when there's too many APCs because of high CD80-86, then there's going to be attack on the tissues. So basically, but bananas reduce that. They lower the risk of autoimmune-like tissue attack. So basically, bananas calm the immune system, preventing excessive inflammation. Another major benefit of bananas is that they have a boron. So boron boosts vitamin D and improving the vitamin D metabolism. And that's important because it supports the regulatory immune functions, and particularly in Tregs, and helps prevent excessive T cell activation. Tregs, it's pretty much, they're involved in autoimmunity or reducing autoimmune attack, but they're also involved in cancer recruits them as well. So that's where you have to be careful with Tregs. Also, vitamin D and boron together, they help maintain magnesium levels. And magnesium is also important for proper T cell signaling and apoptosis, which is a programmed cell death of overactive T cells. So boron helps magnesium to also reduce the tissue damage caused by overactive T cells. A good way to raise your magnesium levels, it might sound counterintuitive, but don't completely lower your estrogen, is to don't make your testosterone too high, or don't make your zinc too excessive. So high levels of vitamin C could increase your zinc levels, and what that's going to do is that it's going to lower your copper levels, and copper is actually it's tied to aromatase and estrogen activity, and without the estrogen activity, because the zinc is too high, it's not going to help the magnesium transporter, because the magnesium transporter actually relies on estrogen or is affected by estrogen. So many people fear estrogen, and yet it's something they need. They still need it anyways. Bananas also, they have some potassium, but boron in bananas, magnesium helps maintain potassium. So potassium, it can't function very well without magnesium. And potassium also supports the apoptosis or programmed cell death of excessive T cells. Potassium is also involved in the apoptosis of excess cancer cells. Depending on the dose, like high potassium and low dose potassium, they both affect the apoptosis or programmed cell death. So that actually mitigates or deals with the cancer promoting effects of estrogen, because you need estrogen to boost the magnesium transporter so that the boron can work, so that the magnesium can reduce the overactive T cells. So if there's risk of cancer because of the estrogen, well, the potassium deals with that by inducing apoptosis in any cancer cells that would have arose from the estrogen. There's this other thing called a Survivin, or BIRC5. It inhibits Caspases 3, Caspase 7, and Caspase 9, which favors cell survival, because the Caspases, they actually, those are the things that trigger apoptosis in cells. So basically, a lower Survivin results in a higher Caspase activity, which means easier apoptosis. So bananas are unusually high in dopamine, which they don't cross the blood-brain barrier. So the effect is less oxidative stress and less NF-κB activation. So that means that a downward pressure on Survivin expression or reducing the expression of the Survivin. So what that means is that there's going to be a higher Caspase activity leading to easier apoptosis, which means that excessive T cells are going to undergo programmed cell death so that they're not attacking tissues. So that's another mechanism as how bananas are good for you when it comes to autoimmunity, especially on the thyroid. Because if there's a thyroid attack there isn't going to be any thyroid hormone, and also thyroid issues can lead to heart problems. The thyroid, there's also a connection with the adrenal glands, but that's beyond the scope of this video. I'll have to cover that in a different one. Also, bananas or if they're green and unripe, are high in resistant starch, which ferments into butyrate, and that also lowers survivin transcription, so that caspases can go up and promote apoptosis and excessive T cells that could be attacking your tissues. So bananas are also rich in vitamin B6 or pyridoxine, and that's required for glutathione synthesis. Also DNA repair fidelity, because T cells could actually become overactive because of, let's say, excessive cancer cells because of DNA damage, or the DNA is damaged so it cannot do the genes, the transcription factors that are needed to fight off cancer cells. So the vitamin B6 and bananas can also help repair DNA, which is a good reason why you should keep the bananas in your diet and not throw them out. So basically, the vitamin B6 also reduces survivin and allows the apoptosis. Now, the reason some health professionals are advising against bananas is because when they turn brown, that's actually oxidation. When they're brown, they have lost their antioxidant capabilities and benefit. Also, if you were to add bananas in, let's say, a green smoothie, the compound in bananas that causes the oxidation will also negate the antioxidant benefit of the smoothie, even if it's not going brown. So that's why health professionals advise against bananas. But if you're going to have banana, then just have it on its own. Don't put it in a green smoothie. You can still have your smoothie. But that's it for this video. Subscribe. Leave any comments about any of your own knowledge and mechanisms and different foods on autoimmunity and cancer, and I'll see you in the next video.